Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to John and Dylan Online, a show by two girls comedians where we poorly research internet history. And joining me to describe the subject of the show is John Hastings.
Ladies and gentlemen, that attempted to be the ICQ. I don't know if that worked.
Uh-oh.
Today we're talking about instant messenger platform ICQ. Dylan, did you ever use ICQ? I did not. I was an MSN Messenger man.
Yes, I always thought that the cool kids used ICQ and MSN Messenger was just for us losers, but from what I have discovered, it's actually the other way around. If you used ICQ, you were a loser. No, ICQ is just earlier than MSN Messenger, it seems.
Correct. ICQ was so technically correct. It was for nerds because only nerds knew about computer stuff in those days. That's a real generational thing that this podcast has made me discover, is that like there was a demarcation line around 2004 where it went from like, whoa, you know how to use computers? I didn't realize you were a virgin who is also a loser. And then it's like 2006 and it's like, wait, you do not know what Control-Alt-Delete uses? I didn't realize I was speaking to a fucking shoe. Shoes are smarter than you. Like, it's like, oh, it's such a quick switch. Like, you say to someone 10 years younger than us, like, use a computer, you're a fucking loser. They'd be like, no, I'm just a human being. Everyone has to use one of these. What are you fucking talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy that we are the last generation that was like, this guy knows where tab is on a keyboard. Get him.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it's when for me at least, it was, oh, everyone knows how to use one of these things because of Napster. Napster was like, okay, well, now I can use this thing to make free. I no longer spend any money on music and I can make whatever CD I want on a whim. Absolutely.
First of all, you were not with nearly as big metalheads as I was. I know two guys that were like, Napster's bad. Metallica doesn't like it. Genuinely true. Those guys.
That's terrifying.
Those guys.
One of my friends had a band called Metalla.ca trying to get sued by Metallica.
Fuck yeah.
Metalla.ca.
Your friends were funner than my friends. My friends were not fun. Also, one of those guys, by the way, I remember after high school, I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I read you can be a mechanic for OC Transpo. It's got a good Union Bennies. I'm going to do that. And he still does that. And it's crazy. He had 2 years off for COVID. Their union said, if you're anxious about COVID, you don't have to come back in. Day one of the lockdown, I'm anxious. Didn't come back for 2 years.
Unions fucking rule, man. Anyway, we're talking about ICQ,
yeah,
which
we are.
Was the second ever instant messaging system on the internet.
Correct. Now, I want everyone to know this. I know almost nothing about how software works or how to create it.
We should preface it with this. Unfortunately, don't let our hairlines fool you or my glasses. We don't know anything about this nerd shit.
Yeah, we were nerds about
titties that were our moms.
That's right. We know about pro wrestling. That is the least helpful nerd topic you can select.
Yeah.
Fix this hard drive. Have you thought about giving it a pile driver?
Well, also, like, the history of the internet is way more like, what if every single band was a one-hit wonder? Because it's like, this company came up with a thing, or in this case, Mirabilis, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, an Israeli company comes up with ICQ, 1996, sells it in 1998, double bird to everyone, literally does which this has been the formula for now going on 25 years, does a bunch of interviews with Forbes being like, hey, you came up with this thing and then you cashed out. I certainly did. Would you like to show your dick to everyone in this magazine? I would. And here's your penis and enjoy your life.
So ICQ was created, as Dylan has mentioned, by a company called Mirabilis or Mirabilis. It really depends on which badly researched YouTube video you're getting ICQ's history from. Depends on the pronunciation. Mirabilis, Mirabilis. Either way, they're in Israel. There's 5 of them. They're very excited. And basically what they pioneer is an instantaneous messenger delivery system. This is also sort of come up with at the same time as text messaging. And it's these interesting moments that computing power and
messaging is in 1996.
No, text messaging uses the underlying same technology. is what I'm saying, is that they find
Oh,
different.
okay. Oh, you're talking about technology. All right. I'll have a
Yeah,
small stroke and you complete your sentences.
please. Yeah. This is, by the way, get ready for two men to immediately melt out. I do not know how this is working, but basically what they figure out is how to make it instantaneous. So before that, it would, like, if you were going to send a message, like, you would, this is going to sound crazy, but like, you'd see the software being like finding the person, and then a cartoon of like a thing flying over, and then it gets there. And what the Mirabalis 5 figure out is how, well, basically it like immediately pops up a copy of your message to the other person. So it's an instantaneous delivery system, kind of like if you were copying and pasting the messages. Is the best metaphor I could kind of come up with. Because let me tell you, I've been trying to figure out, I read, like, it's all like, this is how all the articles start. Very simple process. Now, as we all know, and then I'm done. Like, right there is where but they basically figure out a thing that everyone who has these types of platforms needs, because it makes it an instantaneous conversation, so that the rhythm keeps coming. And like anything with the internet that this podcast has helped us discover is, here is how you make a useful product on the internet. Does it keep the people on the thing, using the thing? Yes. Make it. Does it do anything else? No? Good. Even better. Oh, can we advertise to them? Sure can, bro. So that's what ICQ does. And then immediately AOL fucking gets the biggest boner and was like, we need this, because America Online, which is Canadians, we did not have. This is another little sidebar. Is AOL?
No, we did. I definitely had America Online.
I did not have. I knew that my friend Andrew Jameson had one of the CDs because his mom used it like a frisbee and flung it at his sister when her sister was being so rude. I remember this specifically. Her sister was angry at her parents because her boyfriend at the time was in jail, and her dad was like, stop accepting phone calls from your boyfriend who's in jail. You're not supposed to be dating a criminal, and also stop making me pay for phone calls to the jail. And she picked up the phone, and it was her boyfriend. And then the mom was like, I told you, and out of a rage frisbeed an AOL CD at the daughter, who dodged it, stayed on the phone. Last I saw her, she was working at a drive-through in our hometown, and she told me she also sold weed when I got my egg McMuffin.
That's good.
It was good.
She's trying to sell you weed. But no, we definitely had AOL, because I had AOL. That was the easy. You wouldn't even go on to
go on the internet with AOL. Like, AOL was like a box internet. Like, you were just, you saw the news, and what it had.
If typing www dot and then a thing confused and angered you, like if you knew literally nothing about the internet, AOL was there. And yes, you had AOL Messenger. It was basically like, here's what's going on and everything, curated news and everything, and then you can go into chat rooms where things got good, because Dylan Gott would be swearing at you.
Yes, the AOL chat rooms, which were a different set of software than AIM, which comes in a second. When ICQ is bought, AIM is ICQ. It's the same underlying software, so much so that they could be used interchangeably as that purchase happens. And it's basically what AOL is doing, is going, and this is my conspiracy theory, because AOL needs to move away from the chat rooms. Why does AOL need to move away from the chat rooms, Dylan? This is just my conspiracy theory. This
Perverts.
Is very correct. Pervert. So AOL is making a fuckload of money off of child.
And what was it? 11-year-olds fucking saying shit.
That was also happening.
Hey, Bill Clinton cheated on his wife. Did he shit in her pussy?
We weren't using pussy that way.
Laughing.
We would say
I'm 42.
We would say pussy into her twat or her cooch or her coochie. We'd say coochie. Coochie.
You say coochie? I listen to rap music, so it said pussy all the time. Pussy.
So AOL,
my Looney Tunes onesie.
Yeah, AOL in the early 90s is making a fuckload of money off of pedophiles that are using their chat rooms to share child pornography. This is how this is discovered. Is a comedian named Barry Crimmins, I'm not making this up, discovers it, catalogs, and like keeps track of all the chats, everything that's happening.
How are they making money off of it?
Because of the internet speed and download speeds and all of the different.
Oh, because you pay to download more. You pay more to download images and.
Correct.
And video files back then must have been so much money.
So much money, and it's all going to AOL. Plus, he is documenting the carpentine him and AOL of being like, you know what's happening, and they're like, do we? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Do we? He ends up in front of the American. There was a Senate subcommittee hearing or some sort of American congressional hearing that you can go see. And Barry Crimmins literally looks like the devil has fought him, and he is against the slickest like AOL lawyer. And the AOL lawyer, like an asshole, at one point goes, "We have a 3 strikes you're out policy," and literally Barry Crimmins goes, "I'm the biggest baseball fan you can find, and I think in this case, 1 strike you're out when it comes to child pornography." And everyone in the room, you can feel like, "Ooh, you done fucked up there, AOL." So AOL. Yeah. This is the thing is, and this is all sort of happening in the background as at the same time AOL buys ICQ and it implements the ICQ chat technology, which basically hasn't necessarily, like, it's been improved upon, but this is the bedrock IM that we're using that could be used in a variety of different DM platforms. There's also a reason why every app wants you chatting on their application, and it keeps you on the application. I would have deleted my Facebook. Dylan would have deleted his Facebook. Do you want to know why we haven't deleted our Facebook? The only way the two of us communicate is through Facebook Messenger. It's basically my Dylan Talk app. It's my version of Commissioner Gordon's red phone on the desk. And every social media app since ICQ has always tried to find a way to keep a chat feature going, because it's a great way to capture and keep people using your stupid platform, which is true of ICQ, which has now from AOL forward gets sold 1 million times and keeps users. They still have 11 million users to this day.
Oh, and we'll get to why.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. By the way, the child porn that you just heard about AOL. Remember that?
You just ruined it.
Remember that?
You just ruined it.
Listen, they could go on nucleo.co.bz or wherever the article is from it. Yeah, strap in. But basically, what happens so ICQ, it's the year 2000, Dylan. What's happening? People are chatting. It's very fun. So let's talk about us using MSN. Who did you talk to on MSN for the most part? Me, it was friends from various summer camps I worked at.
Well, it's also you could put emo statuses up there, like I'm just feeling life.
My main status for a long time was 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer, which
oh no.
A bunch of the Christian camp people were like, do you have a drinking problem now? And it was not. I'd only had about 4 beers in my life. I just really liked the George Thorogood song. Even lamer. Even
mention beer because you were a kid.
Yeah, it mentioned cool. He's drinking more than one.
Grown-ups drink beer. Also, the whole thing where you're messaging like 6 people at the same time, and the cooler the person is, you'd come over to the house and like, I don't even know if I have time to hang out with you. I'm messaging like 8 girls, but pretending I'm away from the computer, but really I'm just staring at the wall because no one answers a message immediately. I'm not a fucking loser.
Exactly, which is a trend that, by the way, has carried forward to online dating. If you're a man and you respond to a message instantaneously, we all know that's a signal that you are a murderer and you're a murderer.
Loser.
Loser, murderer. I remember all that.
Like you have something better to do, and in reality, you're just scrolling.
My personal favorite part of MSN and all of those different messaging apps I would say the only times I really remember these was 2000, 2002 or 3. No, that's not true. I remember MSN being used 2004, 2005. Anyway, here's what I'm saying is the main thing that happened was everyone was on it and everyone was like, I don't use it though. I never use it. I don't want to talk to you on it. And it's like, well, we can all see you're online all the time. So you're a fucking liar. That was my main.
Oh no, the bigot people who are like, fuck, I'm too fucking popular. I can't even be online. I'm busy all the time. The people who are just like their set status was like, I'm busy. I'm always busy, but also ready to answer any message.
Now, the main other thing you could use ICQ for, and this was definitely used by my friend Nate a lot and my friend Matt, which is you would go into my friend Gio's room and randomly message people swear words. And let me tell you, still fun. Still fun. Did it all the time. My friend Gio, still angry that it happened to him a lot of times. Still upset about it. It was brought up when we were camping 1 year ago as a fun joke. And you know when you're like, oh, you've not let this go. Has not let it go. It was real.
My friend broke up with a girl, and then one of my other friends immediately, she said, oh, I'm practicing at the Hershey Center. And then my friend wrote her, I'd like to practice in your Hershey Center. And then he wrote the word, and then he wrote the letter O. And we've just kept on sending her, oh, so that's good. that's a good story, and that's a good thing that I did.
Did you do that?
Yeah, we laughed all night. That literally one joke made our whole night.
I
God
mean,
bless.
it made my fucking day.
I
Um,
mean, man, here's what I've learned. My internet usage peaked in 1998 to 2002. That was my prime. These messaging things, oh man, being a jerk to someone, and and then you just say like, yeah, I don't know, my sister must have used my computer. I didn't write that.
yeah. Also,
I did though.
what's also crazy is this was a time when
Pussy.
this is
Shit,
such a
fuck.
iPhone technology for you. You have to understand that we're not wandering through society. We're sat in communal rooms of our homes typing at people. Understand that? Like there was
ICQ is for friends, right? Like it wasn't. There was no
basically the
chat
other.
rooms. Or was chat rooms?
No, there's no chat room. So you got to find because you
Yeah, that's
have
the other thing is there's no like exactly. You have to find a person and link up because before this it's just chat rooms where it's like I'm trying to talk to you. You can
and
have like you can within the chat rooms you can start privately messaging people, but mostly it was like we're just in a thing because we want to use the internet. There's that little people on the internet. Okay, let's have a conversation. I'm trying to talk to you about politics or something, and you're like, well, I don't know.
yeah,
Will they go full war in Kosovo? And then me as a 12-year-old comes in, and I'm just like, shit, fuck. And then older people go like, hey, could you stop swearing? Where are the mods? And I'd be like, the mods are sucking my dick. And then they'd kick me out. I'd create a new name. I'd
of
come back
course.
in and I'd be like, oh, hey guys, really excited to engage in some fun political conversation. What are you guys talking about? Sorry, the mod was sucking my dick again. Piss, balls, picture of a guy's ass, picture of a guy's ass, kicked out again. Rinse and repeat for the whole goddamn night, John.
What you
Now
all
that's
know,
the internet.
in the middle of that, I'm over on ottawametal.com, and you are looking at the reason why ottawametal.com no longer had forums because I blew those forums up with my truth bombs.
But that's why people like me want privacy is so that I can once again swear at people anonymously. Because now I have like, what am I going to do? Tweet? Fuck.
Yeah, no, what
That's
I do,
stupid.
Dylan, what I do though is I just randomly friend friends of mine on Facebook, and then I just write in the, I didn't direct message them tits, ass.
Then that's morphed into people saying like, they go on people's comments and like, you're a fucking loser or whatever, which I would totally be doing now.
No. You can't. No, you don't. I like the idea of just swearing. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, not even no context.
Ass.
That's good.
Like, just
We should use from now on our TikTok will be exclusively commenting on people's things. Piss.
no. Piss is too modern of a swear. Piss was not just thrown out there willy nilly. Like
Butthole.
but no, it would be butthole is 2000. Butthole is like from the 40-year-old virgin. People don't know how new just saying butthole is. Was your
That's too
asshole
new?
or your butt? And
If we get real old, then we just fucking homophobic slurs all over the place.
okay,
John.
well, yeah, we're going really. Listen, if we're going of the time, there would be no swearing. Yeah, it would just be discussions of and evidence against straightness in the comments.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. There's no discussion. It's just gay. Like that's it. That's that. That's the old. That'd be.
The form of discussion is just a very short and opinionated
It's still
discussion.
just words.
Correct.
They're just words, John. Here's my favorite thing I've ever seen in stand-up comedy. One guy going up and going, "It's just a word." Like I said, the N word, and then a black guy in the crowd said, "No, it's not." And then he was like, "It is," and he's like, "No, it's not." And then he just kind of had to segue into other material. That was good.
My favorite is seeing a comedian say it on stage, and then a black man walked up off stage and said, "Say it now, motherfucker." And I just remember being like, "Oh, I was like, this is the best way I've ever seen this handled." Because it's literally like, what are you going to do? You set it up there. Say it now. Say it now.
That would be really fun to do that. Try and do one of those jokes, and then it's just a word. Say it, and someone's like, "No, it's not," and you're like, "Yeah, you're right." Anyway, I was in the park the other day, and just smoothly transition to new material as if that always happens. I'm always saying it, and I'm getting blocked. So anyway,
Yeah.
did you guys notice that you have to do your own checkout at the grocery store? What am I gonna be the manager down there too? Anyway, double high five. I'm out of here. My name's been Roberto De Niro. That's right. There's an O because oh no. Anyway, ICQ, I invented it. I'm a millionaire now. Let's talk about the people that invented ICQ. Who did it?
Let's go to the nose.
Mirabilis. Bam. Who are the other people of Mirabilis? Let me tell you this.
Finger Sefi Vijar. Amon Arik.
Yeah. Yeah, your Goldfinger is
Yeah, your
that's a
gold.
name, baby.
I don't know anything about these people besides that Yari Goldfinger was an evil bastard, and I assume that
How is he an evil bastard?
evidence his name is Yari Goldfinger, and also
Oh,
the
is his name's too foreign for you? I
no,
guess some of us,
Vardy,
right?
Eric Vardy,
Pardon?
Yossi Vardy are father and son, and I always assume that Yossi Vardy is the one that came up with the technology behind ICQ, and then the other four were like, "We're business people. Don't tell this brilliant man what he has done."
So I found a very good article from 1999 with Forbes that
Ooh,
Sefi Visager did when he was 27. And it's a very good 1999 interview because here's one line. Without a shekel in revenues, a Tel Aviv company Vissinger co-founded, Mirabilis, has become the stuff high-tech dreams are made of. After America Online purchased Mirabilis last summer for 287 million in cash. This is one of the first times it's like, hey, this idea is good. We have no money. We haven't made any money yet. We're just fucking buying it, and it like blows everyone's minds. Also, they say shekels because it is an Israeli company.
you're totally correct. The other thing that's important to remember in these tech acquisitions is it was $287 million up front and 120 million in additional payments over the next 3 years based on performance levels. Mirabilis hit all of that. Like
Oh,
under
murdered it. Yeah.
yeah, like the other thing is Mirabilis is one of those few companies that gets acquired and there isn't the other part of the Wikipedia page that goes controversy. Like it's literally like AOL bought them, AOL nailed buying them, and Mirabilis fucking delivered, leading to AOL successfully patenting the technology in 2002, essentially taking over Mirabilis's IP and moving forward. After the purchase, it was Mirabilis was managed by Ari Yarinvinsky and Ari Shechner until
Good.
2000,
It
when it
also has unparalleled growth ICQ does even after AOL. Like people basically learn to use the internet
on AOL,
and
fuck off AOL.
yeah.
The other thing that's important to remember is AOL then goes through a giant merger with Time Warner, really takes their eye off the ball. That is one of the worst and least successful government mergers ever. And that is important because that leads to the spinning off of ICQ, which is sold to Digital Sky Technologies, headed by a man named Alisher Yuzumov for 187.5 million dollars in 2010.
So they lose $100 million on the sale, even more if you factor in inflation, because that's 287 to 187.
Exactly. Like it's 287 to fucking 187. Although it's many years later, the underlying technological patents, I assume they hold on to, which is probably where the real money is made. ICQ, incredibly popular Russian speaking instant messenger app. In September of that year, Digital Sky Technologies changes its name to its much more appropriate and scary Mail.ru group.
No, are you?
I
Mail.Russia.
Yeah, it's Mail.Russia group. Although some people in weird podcasts talking about ICQ have said it's Mail.ru. So who the fuck knows?
Sure. I mean, honest. I always just read it mail.ru because it was like any time you would want to get a free UFC pay-per-view, you would just use a Russian website where it's like, oh, I'm not paying $70 now, but I am paying, and I assume my family's like blood history or whatever.
I assume that I'll just have my identity stolen later.
I get this pay-per-view and they get my SIN number. It's fine.
And before we take a break and then talk about what happens when Mail.ru or Mail.Russia takes over ICQ, what is the main thing that Mail.ru does? It switches it from a desktop client over to a mobile messaging system. And as of 2013, around half of the ICQ users are using it on mobile apps. And in 2014, the number of users started growing for the first time since Russia purchased this app and used it, I assume, to destroy Hillary Clinton's chances of being the president. Everything comes back to that for me.
Yeah, Hillary's ICQs. That's what I was trying to delve into.
Exactly.
Everyone focused on the emails too much.
Emails. I want to know about her DMs with Bill. Bring
Yeah,
the
here's the other thing about it is that who would order cheese pizza, huh? And the other one is
you.
why does it start getting more people to join it, John? Maybe it's because of they're very protective of privacy.
They claim to be pretty protective of privacy, but they
Oh,
this
very
this
protective
is
of
a Russian
privacy,
company, and I
John.
don't believe it. Like I just don't believe it. They're like we are, and also they're allowing for huge attachments. And there is unfettered for fuck's sakes.
Get it?
There's
No, John, don't worry. Sound it out.
I will get moderate there's a very little moderation once
There
mail
you go.
takes over. It becomes very much a wild west area of the internet. It's very interesting.
Uh-oh, those never
What are you?
ICQ Chan.
Yeah, exactly correct. So basically, it's like it's 4chan, the messenger app,
Oh, yeah.
owned by.
Telegram's like that, but even as far as Telegram goes, ICQ's fucking weird.
I mean, I got to tell you, I remember when Telegram came out, I was still living in London, and someone was like, I got this new thing called a Telegram account. And a part of me is always like, I wonder if that guy blew up on Telegram.
Our good friend Bobby Bear always wanted to go viral, but on the dark web. So it's only gun runners and pedos that like this stuff. I'm really big in the gun running community.
I mean, they definitely listen to this podcast if we're talking about ICQ. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a little break. And when we come back, we're going to tell you what ICQ is up to now. And then we will wildly speculate and visit more about things that we did with instant messaging apps. Ladies and gentlemen, now enjoy listening to us shill for our Patreon. Go fuck yourselves.
John, no matter what we do, we covered wrestling. We cover fucking. We're trying to move into a classier space, and goddamn it, we're still covering the same goddamn thing. Because here's what's happening, baby. ICQ, right when the pandemic starts, becomes a haven for pedophiles.
Pedophiles. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this about being a millennial. Anything that we like, if you dig enough, sexual criminal. This is anything the millennials like. It's used for sex crime. Oh my god, I love the movies of Quentin Tarantino. They're so influential to me. Oh, surprise. Produced by a sex criminal. Oh, I loved chatting to people on ICQ when I was 14 in my mom's basement. Oh yeah, that's now used for sex crime. Oh my god, I love the song Rock and Roll Part 2. It was on Frosh, this weird compilation mix my mom bought me at Zeller's when I was 12. Oh yeah, you love Gary Glitter. Do not Google him, because guess what he is? King sex criminal. This is everything the millennials have ever done. And of course, ICQ had to catch up because, of course, it was purchased by a Russian company. And so what is it used for? Evil. Because guess newsflash.
Yeah, everything Russian is bad, especially borscht.
Especially, if anything, borscht is the root of all evil. Let's take these beets and boil them. Make sure to do it inside.
Yes, so they're purchased by mail.ru, who doesn't ever look at anything. So if your privacy laws get lax, baby, people are gonna. Here's my favorite thing though, because you look up like ICQ privacy, and really this story was broken by a Brazilian newspaper, and the story itself, because I think this only happened a month ago as of this recording, is right now only in Portuguese. And to read the story, I texted to you, John, but I had to text you a Google translated version of the Portuguese story.
Absolutely. This points to a larger thing, which is the bias within the media, because this is a issue that's not happening within the English speaking world. This is a Russian company. It's happening. ICQ is mostly now a Russian language chatting application, and also is used by some subsidiaries. One of the places it is somewhat popular is still Brazil. I always find this sidebar fascinating. Certain places use certain things more, like in the way that Twitter in the UK is still so much more popular and prevalent than it is in the US. Facebook so much bigger in Canada. Pedophilia so much more popular in Brazil, if the Google Translate is to be understood.
No, I mean, it doesn't have any regions, but it says the nucleus identified and tracked a total of 13 child pornography groups hosted on ICQ during 2 weeks in June 2023.
This was so crazy. So basically what it is, and much like any of these things, ICQ
Can I say something, John?
Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Continue.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Dylan. Turn the
Uh-oh.
podcast canceled. This is the best bit. That's the best bit ever. Uh-oh.
Hey, do you know what they actually had a new noise?
Yeah. Lawyer.
No, it says, oh yeah.
Oh no. And get the lawyer. You're gonna want to. Yeah, you're gonna want a lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah, via Russia. That is not legal. That is not illegal here. So basically what happened is that they, ICQ is trying to compete with Facebook's. My favorite thing they did, by the way, was at one point ICQ introduced new skins. Do you want to change the color of the software you're using?
Oh, Fortnite style. Bad news.
Bad news. Yeah, they did that. That was their big update. That was ICQ 5. Anyway, and at a certain point, they added groups. So you could basically, they were like, hey, we're the anti-chat room. We're reintroducing chat rooms. And let me tell you if you say, put the word chat room up, guess what you're getting? A bunch of guys with wispy mustaches, mushroom cuts, and members only jackets, my friend. Here come the fucking sex criminals. And they have 13 different groups hosting and exchanging child pornography on ICQ. This is also because it has excellent attachment abilities for your messages and also zero moderation and being provided at a corporate level. They do not care. What is also interesting about this article is it doesn't seem like the article, it does not seem like the company cares. Like they're literally
no, they just want users. Also, yes, you're right, this is in Portuguese, and it's also an open open Facebook groups. This is happening, not like secret. They're not even put secret it. They're just like, all right.
Yeah, and it's it's a little confusing, but essentially what it is the Facebook groups is the recruitment. Then you download ICQ, and then you get the data. It's a literal rehash of how they were using AOL in the late 90s, and unfortunately Barry Crimmins is dead, so he cannot ride in on, I assume, some sort of sad donkey. And
it's been found out now, so
found out. I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude. It has been discovered, and it is not a media source that's in an English language. I have a feeling this will continue, because if the story is being broken by Beef Tits McGillicuddy and his old pal No Hair, No Eyes, No Problem.
Oh, this guy hates Brazilian people. Continue, John.
I'm going to say that this information is not getting out. I have a feeling that the few hundred people that enjoy our comedy, while they will be outraged, I do not feel that a Greta Thunberg shall emerge from our midst. But what I'm trying to say,
I mean, we don't know about Nucleo. This is by there's actually 4 people that wrote this: Sophia Scourge, Rodolfo Almeida, Milena Giacomini, and Sergio Spagnuolo. Butchered at least 2 of those names, but there's 4 people that worked at this. And it was published as of June 22nd, 2023. So really, we're recording this well ahead of time when you're hearing it. And so who knows? I mean, maybe movements have been made on this, and in patented us like the day this comes out, there'll be another huge story about it, and everyone will be talking about it, and we'll just sound like we're fucking morons.
The other thing to important is Meta has been reached out by Nucleus. This was Meta's statement. Content that exploits or puts children at risk is not allowed on Facebook. We proactively work to find and remove this type of material and encourage people to report it. We have policies, technology, and specialized teams focused on eliminating abusive interactions. The other thing to remember about companies like Meta is that anything that is not in English language has substantially less moderation and security around it, because they do not care, because their stockholders and any accountability will only occur in an English language. This is why the variety of genocides that Facebook has allowed to take place and be planned on their platform, they have currently gotten away with it because it is not in English, so the media does not cover it to the point that it creates.
There's been some genocides. I don't know specifically about them, which is not good on me, but
eventually our Facebook episode, which is mostly just going to be you and I going,
well, Facebook, we don't have a Facebook episode. It'll be like, here's our Facebook series, The Genocides.
Yeah, when we eventually do what we did with our last podcast, which is snap and do a full year on Facebook, that's when this show will end and our friendship will be back on the rocks. Because here's what we learned from our last podcast. Don't talk about one sad subject for a full year, especially if that year is the year of COVID 2020. You'll be sad.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Bob again, Mike?
So John, tell me this. ICQ, why do you use it so much?
I use ICQ so much because I need to get certain video. I mean, nothing. I
Improv training, never die. Yes, and no matter what it is.
yes, and even when you do not want that clip to be isolated, I never used ICQ, but without it, we would not have text messaging and instant messaging the way that we do now. It's an incredibly interesting and apocryphal story for understanding how software companies operate, and the whole thing about how always there's a chat feature to any sort of website or app they want to keep you using was such an interesting kind of like a fucking course. Like it's a thing that it's a communication device, so you will always be checking it. So that's why they always try and cram essentially an email onto everything. Why does Instagram need DMs? Shut the fuck up. Why does Twitter need DMs? Shut the fuck up. Why does Facebook need yet another way to communicate with me? Shut the fuck up. Why does Threads have a DM even though that DM could be set? Shut the fuck up. So ICQ is very important for that lesson, and also the continuing lesson of the internet. Is it on the internet? Yes. Well, it'll be used for evil. Don't you worry.
Well, it's the same thing. Like there's like this. It feels weird saying this, but like
only the internet is like this. Not food. Not all food has been used for evil. You know what I mean?
Mail fraud. Like, is the mail bad because of mail fraud?
Yes.
Can't argue it.
Yeah. How do you like that? That's my Steelmanned. You've been steelmanned, Dylan. Have you heard that term? It's very.
No.
I was talking to some Gen Z comedians in a green room, and I was like, "What are the cool new terms?" And one of them's like, "Yo, when someone's like telling you something, just say back to them like, man, I'll steelman your argument." And I was like, "I'm not gonna look up what that means, but it sounds like a real shitty thing to say to someone. I'll be having it. Thank you very."
Yeah, I'm. You can't stop me from using, the most on fleek slang from 5 years ago because that's what I do as a bald man. Oh, John's dabbing. Here's the thing I hate the most about my time in England is that I came off the plane ready to dab, and people were like, "That was last year," and I was like, "Yeah, but it just happened over there, so everyone's just gonna have to watch me fucking dab for a while."
Fuck up! I want to remember Kyle Legacy.
I want to fucking dab.
Yeah, for those of you who do not know Kyle Legacy, he's the best comedian or the worst man, or worst comedian, best man. Can't be both.
This is the thing too about England is like I remember my now wife went there and there was a night at 2000s night, and then she was like, "I'm going to hear so much fucking great music," and I was like, "No, you won't." And then she was like, "Yeah, it's the 2000s. They got to play some rap," and I was like, "No, they don't." And then they just played Mr. Brightside until she tried to like rip a wall open, and that was pretty much it.
What do you think? Like rap did not happen in England until fucking Stormzy. Like, and even that, they're like, it's called grime and it's different. How's it different? Fuck you.
We don't let them be as famous as you did.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to make them part of mainstream culture. Why are you saying they? Why are you talking to me?
Get an ICQ. I have a bunch of links for you.
God, that ICQ thing, but can we just say this? Because I had concluded the research when you sent me that article, and then I was like, of course. Like it's like you cannot escape evil when it comes to the internet.
It's very funny that it's like pretty much the exact same story as E-Bombs World. It's like it was majorly popular in 2000. Their numbers grew. This is the thing about ICQ. Their numbers grew the entire 2000s just because more people started using the internet. So it's like you remember as ICQ not being as quote unquote not being as popular as it was in the 90s, but that's not true. It like pretty much grows exponentially until 2010, and then it falls off a cliff because obviously you get social media and everyone starts messaging mostly through social media. Facebook buys WhatsApp, all that bullshit. But it would have just been a nice story of like, yeah, then they got sold, and that thing you remember is actually still going. Wow. I wonder why people use it. Because they're pedophiles or they want to fucking...
This is the thing. And I should have known the red flag when I read they were bought by a Russian company, because I remember reading that and being like, that's not usually good. That's like here's something you never want to see. Russia plus computer. Here's a good thing. Russia plus gasoline, Russia plus oil, Russia plus wheat. All very reputable and not reputable, but
your camera's really fucked.
I wouldn't say reputable. Fuck you, camera. Oh, there we go.
Whatever. We're in the home stretch now. People listening don't need to know.
I I wouldn't say reputable, but you're at least not like bracing yourself for like, and then of course ICQ right under the fucking wire. Oh, surprise that you're not surprised. The Russian computer company is being used for Russian computer evil as usual. Yep, what a fucking nightmare. Go fuck yourself.
Good times. It's basically like what if E-Bomb's World? It's the exact same story as E-Bomb's World, except at the end there's pedophiles.
Yeah, basically, what if E-Bomb's World was totally just run by Eric Bauman's dad? Then you get ICQ.
Oh yeah, Eric Bauman's dad probably tried to start his own less successful QAnon. Look at our E-Bomb's World episode for more on that. Next week, it's going to be the exact opposite of how this ends because this story starts fun and then ends fun too. It's going to be an episode on Psy and furthermore, Gangnam Style, baby.
Excited for Gangnam Style. Speaking of, you know what Gangnam Style was for Dylan? Pardon me, what dabbing was for Dylan, Gangnam Style was. I was in the process of moving to England, so I just missed it. I just didn't know it was happening. I was in like
that's pathetic.
England reported on it, but no one, and this is crucial, went Gangnam Style in England.
It seems like the exact type of non-offensive, kitschy bullshit they would love over there.
You were correct, except for one key factor. It is in no way British centric, therefore they have no way of understanding.
Yeah, it's a horse. They got horses there. The horse dance.
Yeah, but they would be like, well, what? But they'd be like, I don't go Gangnam Style. I go Hammersmith Style. Well, it's the same. It is quite crucially not the same. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
More on that next week. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Join our fucking Patreon. $5 a month gets you, classic shit, episodes ahead of time. Extra episode. Look at our butts. We got some other tiers on there too. Please go to patreon.com/John and Dylan online for more information. Thank you so much. John, anything left?
I have one last question. Do you think that there was one ICQ employee that was there 1999 to 2020? I think that there was, and that guy was like, wait, what are we doing now?
He helped on all the new versions of ICQ.
It's like, I got to tell, I'm very excited. It's going to change color. If the users want it to be green, it can be green. That's very exciting.
Well, it could also just be like, oh, good. We have lax privacy laws so people can use this to help protest things. And what are these people? Oh, no.
Oh, that's exactly what I think it is. He's like, I'm just so pleased that I'm, son of a fucking bitch again.
Should have seen that one coming. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Kiss, kiss. Bye-bye.
Dang.